Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and I wanted to talk about a bit of news that was just announced this morning, and that is the fact that the Six Flags Saudi Arabia park in Qiddiya have just announced that they will be building the tallest, fastest, and longest coaster in the world. So Six Flags Saudi Arabia is opening in 2023, as it was announced today, and along with that, they also announced Falcon's Flight, which will be the tallest, fastest, and longest coaster in the world, and I think the top speed is somewhere around 156 miles an hour, and also it looks to be a launch coaster, potentially. It's really hard to tell exactly what the ride is, besides being an Intamin coaster. At least it looks like the track style of the newer Intamins like Skyrush as well as I-305. But the animation is really hard to decipher because it's so out there. It really is probably one of the worst looking animations I think that we've seen in a while. It really doesn't give too much detail into how everything will be shaped. The actual concept pictures show differences between the shown layout and on the video as well as in the concept art themselves, but it's really going to be interesting to see how this ends up panning out. Of course, the last time Six Flags tried to open a Six Flags park, or at least a Six Flags branded park in the Middle East, it ended up falling through with Six Flags Dubai. But honestly, as of lately, Saudi Arabia has been a different beast with trying to boost its tourism sector, and I could totally see Saudi Arabia forking out the money to pay for everything in this park, including Falcon's Flight. Saudi Arabia recently loosened their tourism policies in the past couple years. It's a lot easier for foreigners to be able to visit the country as of now. Of course, it's not the easiest thing, but it definitely is more doable than it was in the past couple of years. We don't need to have a business visa and be there strictly on business. And along with this change, they have definitely been trying to invite more Westerners, as they would probably say, to the country itself. I think as a country, they're finally realizing that oil is not going to be the number one export that will last them for many, many decades to come. And so they're kind of going with the plan B, just kind of how the United Arab Emirates did in the past couple of years by boosting their tourism sector with tons of new parks, including Ferrari World, where the fastest coaster in the world now resides in Formula Rossa with a 149 mile per hour launch. But in Saudi Arabia, however, I could totally see them running as well as paying for the park. I think they'll just use the Six Flags branding to potentially bring more tourists over. But I could totally see them paying for everything in this. They've been paying millions and tens of millions per event from Western companies to come to the country and perform as of late. I mean, the biggest standout from that is WWE. They've done a couple events in the country for around $10 million plus per event. And I think they've done 4 or 3 as of now. And everything was paid by the Saudi Arabian government. So if they're willing to pay $10 million an event, I could totally see them being willing to spend $50 million on a coaster. Honestly, it's definitely more of a long-term investment for the country. But it'll be really interesting to see how this pans out. We know the park is definitely getting closer to development than Six Flags Dubai was. I mean, they've already filmed commercials. We actually saw the commercial shoots live at Six Flags Magic Mountain. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens with everything, including Falcon's Flight, as well as everything else at the park that's said to be coming. But we do have 4 years until this happens, so maybe one of those records will be broken before then. I mean, we really don't know as of now. But it should be really interesting to see all that happens with Six Flags Saudi Arabia or Six Flags Qiddiya, whatever they'll end up calling it. But I'm really interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on this kind of shock announcement out of nowhere. The animation definitely is not the best by any means, and it's really hard to tell exactly what will be happening in the layout, but it looks to be an interesting eye grabber for people that have never thought to go to Saudi Arabia before. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to have tons more videos on Southern California as well as just news updates like this in the future. But until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.